Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today is the 16th of August and I want to start the second part of my monthly reading vlog. The first half of the month was very weird because I read a lot, but I read a lot of weird books, and the reason for that is that I did this little wheel spin challenge to choose books from my physical TBR that I'm just trying to get read before my sabbatical comes to an end. And I think in that regard it was quite successful, but it was something. Just go watch the vlog and then you'll know what I mean. However, I did leave this vlog off with a little wheel cliffhanger. So let me show you what the wheel chose next for me to read. So the next book it chose for me to read is Wish You Were Here by Jodi Picoult, which is kind of perfect but a little bit too early because this is one of the two physical books I'm planning on taking on my vacation that will start in roughly a week. So I am postponing this one a little bit so I can take it to the trip because it's like a really small book. It's very light, and then also this deals with a woman going on vacation. Granted, not to Italy, but to the Galapagos Islands. However, still gonna do it. So let's spin that wheel again. And now we got Murder on the Prowl by Rita Mae Brown and Sneaky Pie Brown. And honestly, this might just be the cozy mystery I need right now because, yeah. The wheel put me through some heavy stuff. Like, so far, the August, mood on Storygraph I have the most of is sad. So we need to change this, and I think this book will help. So I'm very glad the wheel chose this one for me. However, before I start this, I have other reading plans I wanted to quickly tell you about. So I'm currently working on 2 books to finish some reading vlogs that by the time this one goes up you should have already seen. So one of them is my Emily Wilde series vlog. So I'm currently reading the 3rd book, that is Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales, and I'm currently 42% into that book. So I hope to finish this one over the weekend before I get into the cozy mystery, and yeah, just wrap this vlog off and be happy about it. And then the other one is Raise the Sands. This is going to be one of the books I read for authors I want to try out this year. So with this one I'm currently 58% through, so also making some good progress, and I hope to finish that one off early next week so I can get the vlog ready for you for when I'm on vacation. So that's currently the reading plans. Those are my priority books, and then I will go back to my wheel spin books. And I was hoping to do at least 4 wheel spins. We have now done 5, so I don't think I will be able to squeeze in another one, but I might surprise myself. But I have a lot of editing and then also packing in my near future, so we'll just see how it all works out. I'll keep you updated, but I'm looking forward to some lighter reading now because, yeah, the beginning of August, while I'm very glad that I got these books off my TBR, was definitely quite heavy. So there is one thing I wanted to do with you today, and that is to choose some library books for my vacation, because I just want to have some books on my e-reader. I'm not quite sure how much reading I will actually do when I'm in Italy, so we will just get a few just in case, so I'm on the safe side. So I put my Libby page to the ones that are currently available, so no waitlist, because my waitlist is like full. I can't put more books on there. So the first one I want to put is the Amalfi Curse, because this actually takes place in Italy, so I think it is perfect. So let's get that one. So the books I'm looking for have to be kind of, vacation-y reads. There is a ton on here, obviously, I want to read, but I want to get those vacation-y books. So I think the next one is this one. I had already checked this one out when I went to Mallorca, but I didn't get to it then. So this is the second chance this one will get. However, this one is not very high on my list, so no promises. A lot of the Christmas books are currently available, which is not a surprise. This one I will definitely get, because I need this for my Magical Readathon TBR. So this is very high on the list. And I think I'm going to do one more, and that will be a Jessie Sutanto book, because I loved Vera Wong, so definitely want to try this series as well. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop here. I would have one more spot, however, I said my holds list is completely full, and if one of those books comes in, I need some space as well. So these are my holiday books. So today is the 19th of August, and it is about time I give you a reading update, because quite a bit has happened since we've last spoken. First of all, I finished reading the third Emily Wilde book, Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales. I finished that a couple of days ago, and when you see this video, my series reading vlog for Emily Wilde will already be uploaded, so you can go and hear all of my thoughts. But I had a wonderful time with the finale of this series, and in the end I gave this one 4 stars, and this might even be my favorite book of the series. I really had a good time with it, and I think it brought the trilogy to a very satisfying ending as well. So I'm very intrigued to see what Heather Fawcett writes next, which seems to be a 1920s inspired magical cat book. Then yesterday I also finished my audiobook Raise the Sands by Sarah Beth Durst. Again, when you see this, my reading vlog for this book will already be uploaded. So again, you can go and check that out for all of my thoughts. But I also had a very, very good time with this audiobook. In the end, I gave it also 4 stars, even though this one might be more of a 4.25 star book. It didn't quite reach 4.5 stars for me, but the ending was phenomenal. There was a lot going on at the end of this book. It just felt a little bit unbalanced, because like the beginning wasn't quite leading up to all the drama and all the bloodshed of the ending. So I would have liked it to be a little bit more balanced, maybe build up the character relationships a little bit more, but overall a fantastic read, and I'm very happy I got to it. So now we have to talk about some new books I'm starting. And as the wheel has demanded, I have started reading this cozy mystery. I always forget the English name. Murder on the Prowl. I'm currently halfway through, and this is such a lovely book to read. Like, I really enjoyed the series. This is the 6th book in the series. However, I made a mistake, so I have already read the 8th book as well. So the 7th book I'm reading from this one. It's a little bit like confused, but whatever. And yeah, it's just really nice to see these characters again. We follow a woman called Harry who is divorced and she lives on a farm. She works at the post office, and sometimes her cats and dog force her to solve some crime. So she is like a very likable character. She's very determined to live her own life and to take care of her late parents' farm and to take care of her animals as well. And these animals, they are very funny. You also get kind of like their conversations, even if the humans around them don't understand. So the main pet basically is Mrs. Murphy, and she is a cat that likes to solve crime. Then we have Tucker, a corgi, and she's basically the right-hand woman of Mrs. Murphy. And now Harry has also adopted Pewter, who is a cat who previously lived in the kind of like supermarket, and she is a bit of a chubby one. So there is a lot of talk about her weight. On the one hand, I'm like, yeah, it's a cat, so, but on the other hand, obviously, making fun of people's weight is just not great. So I have like mixed feelings about all of these comments, but Pewter is definitely fighting back, and she's not feeling bad for herself and her body, so we do appreciate that. And in this 6th novel, we follow a case where there have been kind of what do you call that in English? That's the thing when I read books in German. But basically, you know, if someone has passed away and you post it in the newspaper, whatever that's called, is it a mortuary? No, that's something else. Whatever, that has been posted for 2 men in this community, both of which have not actually passed away. So it seems to be kind of like a prank from teenagers, because the first man that happened to was the director of a private school in this town. And then this director of the private school actually ends up dead. So now the question is, what happened to him? And we also have this teenage girl called Jodi, and there seems to be something going on with her. She seems to have like big mood swings. She's getting very violent, and then she's also found hiding with a black eye. So we're also trying to figure out what is going on with Jodi. So if you like kind of like small town books where people stick their noses into stuff that doesn't really concern them, but you know, then I think this is a fantastic series. It's very cozy, even though it is a bit gruesome, and the like murders that happen in the series are definitely terrible. So yeah, I'm intrigued to read the second half. This is a very quick read as well, so I might even finish it today. And I definitely want to find out what's going on with these notes and with the death that has occurred. For my audiobook, I really just started it, but I decided to go with Camp Damascus by Chuck Tingle. Now, this book I have had on my radar for a very long time, which also led me to completely forget the premise of this one, but I am at the end of the first chapter now. The chapters are very long in this book. So it seems we are following a girl, like she's already 20. She reads a lot younger at the beginning of the book, but she's already 20 now. And she has grown up in a very religious household. She really believes in like Jesus and God and is trying to live her life according to that. And when we meet her, it's the end of the summer and it's kind of like this last hurrah kind of day that she spends with her friends. Things will go wrong from here and there is probably a camp involved. I think it might be a kind of like conversion therapy camp because she does seem to be attracted to one of her like female friends. So I'm not quite sure anymore, but I'm intrigued to get more into this story and let you know more as I read it. So today is the 20th of August and as promised I am here to tell you that I finished reading Murder on the Prowl. I always forget the English title, but the sixth book in the Miss Murphy series. I finished reading it last night. I actually stayed up a little bit past my bedtime because I just really wanted to know what was going on in this book. So I'm not going to say too much more. I already told you kind of what this one is about yesterday. I must say that the conclusion was a little bit of a disappointment for me just because there is like something happening at the end. I will say it in a second, but it is a spoiler. So let me just like talk non-spoilery about this and then I will say this like one sentence of what bugged me about this book and then we can be done. But yeah, I gave this one 3.5 stars because I do really like the reading experience and I think that this overall like charm of the book is quite high. However, this was still written in the 90s and so it has like some like irksome weird stuff in here that you wouldn't put in your book anymore like 25 years later. So yeah, for example, this one, as I said, talks a lot about the weight of one of the cats, Pewter, in a very like negative way. There's like body shaming and stuff. Then there are some remarks in here that felt like so weird because it's basically portraying the whole like Southern states mentality around the Civil War as just like a cute little quirk, like that they can't get over how they lost. And that just felt very off in this book. Like I thought, like it was like just one scene, but it just was so weird. So I really did not appreciate that. And this is like the spoiler, so if you don't want to hear it, just skip until I put down the book. But basically, we have a character in here who gets an abortion and does not feel guilt about it. And in the end, this person is the murderer. And I thought that was kind of like probably not meant as a political statement, but it just felt not great, because having an abortion, especially as a teenage girl, is something different than murdering people, and that this person in the end turns out to be the murderer and also not feel like any regret about the murders. I think if you take this book today, especially with everything we have going on with Epstein right now, this would be done so differently, this kind of story. And the characters would be viewed so differently. But yeah, it was the 90s. So unfortunately, that was a bit of a letdown in the end, but I will still continue on with this series because there is books that are like from the recent years. So I definitely want to try to make my way up to those because I do, as I said, really like the writing. I like the atmosphere. I like the characters. So I will continue on with this. However, we do still have 4 days. Today's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday before I leave for Italy. So I thought we can try to do another little wheel spin and see if we get a book that I can read in those 4 days. And it seems like the wheel is trying to make up for what it put me through at the beginning of the month, because after giving me the longest book on my TBR, now it gave me the shortest book on my TBR, and that is Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. This is the sequel to Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. So I will read this today. I have heard that this is even more nonsensical than the first book, so I'm a little bit scared about this. I got this at the time when those like Alice in Wonderland, I think it was like Tim Burton movies came out, so this has been on the TBR for a very long time. And we'll just see. We'll just see how it goes. I'll let you know when I'm finished with this one. So, as promised, I am back again because I finished reading Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. This was cute. I liked it kind of equally as I liked Alice in Wonderland. I decided to give this one 3.5 stars. This one is a little bit different. It's based in chess, and also it's playing around with kittens. And if you know anything about me, you mentioned kittens in your book and you have me intrigued. You have me wrapped around your finger. My ears and eyes are wide open. So yeah, I had a good time with this. It is very nonsensical, but we do meet a lot of the characters that, you know, are popular and that people know about, like Tweedledee and Tweedledum and Humpty Dumpty, the Red Queen, all of that. The White Queen as well, who is quite disheveled. But yeah, I had a good time with this, and now I can tick it off the TBR. And I thought we still have 3 days left now, 3 and a little bit. So why not do another wheel spin? You know, just to see what happens. Let's go. Okay, and this is one of the books that I had explained in the previous vlog that if I get this one, I will reread first. So I'm counting this as the first book, The Library of the Unwritten by A.J. Hackwith. This will be a reread. It's one that I have been meaning to do for, I think, 3 years now. So it is about time. And yeah, I will try to get this done before I leave. I won't make any promises though. I am very happy to go back into this world because I absolutely loved this book when I read it the first time, and I can't wait to read it again. Also, I wanted to mention with my audiobook, Camp Damascus, I am now 30% into the audiobook. I have been running some errands the last couple of days, so I made some good progress with the audio, and I am enjoying it. I really like the narration of the book. However, I feel a little bit confused because in my head, we would spend a lot of time at the camp, but we have not entered the camp yet. We have seen one TV commercial about it, and that's it. We're following our main character through her last days of summer as she is starting to experience a very weird haunting kind of thing where she keeps seeing on the one hand these visions of a beautiful girl and then also this demon creature that seems to be kind of haunting her. And so yeah, it's about I guess her sexuality and figuring out what she wants, and how that doesn't really fit in with her religious beliefs, I guess. I do have a bit of a suspicion of what might be going on with this, but I don't want to say it because, if I'm right, I might spoil something and I don't want to do that. But I do have a little bit of a tingling of what might be going on in this book. We'll see whether I'm right. I will keep you updated. So it is the 22nd of August, just a very quick check-in. I'm now halfway through my reread of the library of the Unwritten, and I am loving it. This will get a serious reading vlog, even though it is like rereads for the most part, but I still think, it can be fun to kind of revisit the whole series in that way. So I'm not going to talk about a lot here, but I'm just gonna say I'm so glad I'm back. But also I'm very glad I'm doing a reread because I got all of the plot muddled and I have no idea what's really going on, and I forgot so much about this book. The things that were going on in the first half of this, I really thought were the second book, so no idea what the second book was actually about, but it's such a good time. I love these characters, I love this book, it's great. And then I'm also halfway into Camp Damascus. As I said in my last update, I think, don't expect this to be a book set in a camp, but we have now reached the point where it gets quite clear what is going on. And now our character decides to do something about it. There has been something very terrible happen to her, which was definitely, very creepy and dangerous. The best thing is, when you listen to a horror book with demony stuff and all of that, and then you lie in your bed sleeping peacefully, and someone in a neighboring flat just starts screaming in the middle of the night. I literally had a heart attack this last night. It was, something. So I don't think the book itself is super creepy, but if you then hear screaming at night, might make it a little bit more creepy of an experience. But I'm having a good time. I really like that we now see some action, that our character is figuring things out, and she's actually quite good with all of that. So she has a little bit of an investigation going on right now, and I'm intrigued to see how that will develop and how the book will come to an end. So today is the 23rd of August. It is the evening before I leave for Italy. I am very excited. I'm also a little bit scared, but I just took a bath to calm myself down a little bit and make sure that I will be able to fall asleep tonight. And while doing that, I finished my reread of The Library of the Unwritten, which was an absolute pleasure. I loved rereading this book. I love these characters. I love the story. This is kind of a quest story. I'm not quite sure whether I even updated you on this book at all, but just in case I didn't, this is the story of the librarians of hell. They watch over the books that have not been written, so the Library of the Unwritten, and this is about kind of a plot to maybe bring the library down and how these characters come together to prevent it. I love this book so much. I gave it 4.5 on reread again. It's just phenomenal, and I can't wait to reread the second book once I get back from my trip. The thing really is that what happens in this book I thought was what happens in the second book, so now I have no clue what happened in the second book, and I definitely need to reread it, but I'm really looking forward to it. And with that, we have time for one more wheel spin. And oh my god, did you see how the wheel wants me to read My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante, which is the only Italian book I have on my TBR right now? Can you believe it? It didn't need too much help from me to pick this book. No, I'm kidding. This is the book I want to focus on during my trip because, as I said, this is a book set in Italy, written by an Italian author, one presumes, and I am very excited to get into this. I have the German copy because one of my colleagues from a previous job gave this one to me after reading it, and yeah, I'm excited to give this one a try, and I hope I will really love it as so many people do. So I will take this and I will take Wish You Were Here on my trip, and I don't know how much reading will happen, so I think 2 physical books will be enough. I have to carry that stuff around, so 2 books is enough. I also wanted to quickly update you on my audiobook. I currently have 1 hour left in that, so I will definitely finish it. If not tonight, then tomorrow when I get started on my trip. So Camp Damascus, very great. I'm really enjoying it. I think the kind of direction it took after the halfway point is right up my alley. As I said, I'm really happy that these characters are being very proactive right now and trying to fight an evil, which I always appreciate. And I do like the whole background idea of what is going on. And right now we're really in the middle of the fighting. So why did I stop reading? Just because I had a lot to do today, to be honest. But yeah, I'm very excited to listen to this last hour of the book. I hope I remember to update you on it once I'm in Italy, because yeah, my brain can get a little bit fuzzy once I'm on a travel trip. I have very strong feelings that this will be a 4, maybe even a 4.5, but I think more like a 4, like a 4.25 stars for me. But I'm really enjoying it and I'm having a great time, and I will definitely read more Chuck Tingle horror. So today is the 25th of August. Hello and welcome to my gilded Venice room. I arrived here very late last night. It was a bit of a rough journey, unfortunately. It did take about 14 hours, which was only a little bit longer than originally planned. However, because our train broke down, we had to use other trains. It was just a little bit chaotic, and because of that, I didn't really read that much. I also didn't want to stress out about my book, just enjoying the journey and stuff, but I did read a little bit. So you might remember what I'm reading is My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. And I am now about 80 pages in the German version. I don't know how that would translate. So I have started the book. I must say I don't really understand yet what all the fuss is about with this book. But it's not bad. It's definitely something I got into quite quickly. We are following these 2 girls. Elena and Lila. Elena is our main character who's telling us this story, and Lila is kind of a childhood friend that she had. And the book starts out with a little prologue where we see that Elena is called by, I think, the son of Lila, who tells her that Lila has gone missing, and they have a bit of an interaction where we see that the relationship seems to be very strained with these characters. And then we go back into the past because Elena decides to write down her memories, and we are following the childhood of Elena and Lila, and right now we're kind of looking at how they became friends. They met in first grade in school, but they weren't like friends immediately, and we see kind of the build-up and the kind of awkwardness of their relationship, and then also just the general dynamic that Elena always kind of like follows Lila and wants to kind of live up to being her friend, and that's like interesting. So yeah, I will definitely continue reading this book and I will keep you updated on that. But now I'm heading out for my day of Venice and I'm very excited. I'll let you know when some reading happens. So today is the 28th of August and I'm coming to you from beautiful Bologna, which I have spent the last day and a half in. I am coming to you with a reading update because I'm now halfway through My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. So I don't really have a lot to add from my last update. I still don't know what all the hype is about, to be honest. I am enjoying the book. I'm going through it quite quickly. I think it's very easy to read, and I think the translation is also done quite well. But yeah, I don't know, like people made this out to be like the most amazing Italian story that has ever been written. And I feel like I'm missing something there because it's a fine book, but yeah, for now I'm unsure why people love it so much. But yeah, basically now our character is around like, I don't know, 14ish, 15ish. So she has grown up a little bit, but her relationship to her friend Lila hasn't really changed that much. Like there's like small details that change, but I don't think like the overall feel of their relationship has changed. And I think it's very interesting because it is toxic in a way where you don't really know whom it affects more negatively, I would say. Like these two girls now are on such different journeys and there's still something that connects them that is mostly their like intellect and that are kind of speaking the same language in a sense. However, where their life is going seems to be like so different that I don't know. I really don't know. I'm intrigued to read the rest of this, but I really don't have a lot to say about this right now. And I'm a little bit disappointed by that because I really thought this would be a book that I would have to say a lot about, especially when it comes to like female friendship and the toxicity of potential like female friendship in your teenage years and stuff. So I don't know. I really don't know. So moving right along, I'm also a little bit into Universality now. I have finished the first part, so I'm about a third of the way through. That first part is written as a article in a newspaper, which I thought was very interesting. It definitely has, a different style from what you would expect in a novel because of that, but I thought it worked really, really well. However, I was a little bit confused when that ended after like 1/3 of the book, and now we are doing something different in the second part. So I'm definitely intrigued, like, because if you like read the synopsis of the book, it sounds a little bit more like it is a mystery. Like there is this guy that gets attacked with a gold bar. Yeah, it feels a little bit more like, ooh, what was going on with that? But you learn all about that in this like first third in the newspaper article. So I'm definitely intrigued to see where the rest of this will go. This also is kind of a COVID story. This does take the pandemic into account, and the whole like quarantine situation is a huge part of how this all came to be. So yeah, I'm intrigued to read more of that. It's definitely different, and in that sense, I don't really know what to expect from it. And it could go really right or really wrong. And right now, I have no idea which way it's gonna go. So I will keep you updated on that one as well. And lastly, I have finally started my audiobook Blood, Water, Paint, I think it's called. The book about the painter Artemisia. This one is a book in verse, so I was really intrigued to see how the audiobook would work. I'm not far in at all, like maybe 20-25 minutes. It is not a very long book, however, but I think I will talk more about it once I'm a little bit further into the book. So that's my reading for now, and yeah, I will see you soon. So today is the 1st of September, and with that we have come to the end of this reading vlog. I'm currently in Rome now. I think we've completely skipped over Florence, but I will have edited in some impressions, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, but I'm just ending my second full day in Rome. Tomorrow I'll travel along to like further destinations you will see in some upcoming videos, but I quickly wanted to finish off this vlog now. So I did in fact finish a book yesterday, and that was Universality by Natasha Brown. This book, I have to be honest, I did like the beginning, but I think there's two things that keep me from really enjoying it. One, I think I don't know enough about British culture right now. And two, I'm not smart enough. So I know that the author is probably doing something like very smart and great with this book, but I didn't get it. I'm sorry. I just don't know. I don't know what the author is trying to tell me with this story. I think this is kind of a criticism of almost like a turf mentality, but not really. I don't know. So I'm giving it 3.5 stars. I think the writing was good. The characters were interesting, if not nice people. But I just don't know what this was, unfortunately. So I think that's all I'm going to say for now. I didn't get it. And that's just how it happens sometimes. So for my other two reads, I'm 350 pages into My Brilliant Friend, so that means I have about, I think, 130 pages left. So I will finish that off in the next couple of days, definitely before this trip is over. I'm not going to take this one home with me. I definitely want to start one of my new books as well. I don't even know if I ever showed you my new books. But yeah, I still have kind of the same feeling about this book. I don't think that I am loving this one as much as so many other people seems to have done. So that's quite unfortunate. It's a solid read, but yeah, there was something a little bit like non-consensual happening in the last bit that I read, and I never really heard people talk about that. So I was taken a little bit back reading about that, because it also involves like a teenager and a grown man. So yeah, didn't love that. And then for my audiobook, I think I'm about 40% into Blood, Water, Paint. I'm listening to this one so slowly just because I'm on my trip, and I have so much going on in my head that oftentimes I just don't have like the right mood to listen to my audiobook. But I am enjoying it. It's a bit of an interesting one because this also will deal with the rape. But right now the main character is very enamored with her future rapist. So interesting experience. Those are my reads. I think it is really fun to read Blood, Water, Paint when I actually got to see the Judith painting in like real life. I was standing in front of it, so that was really great. And today I also saw the Judith painting of her father, because that is in the Vatican museums. So it's like very immersive that way, you know, if you listen to this story and it mentions these paintings and then you're standing in front of them. I also saw that the Susanna painting is very close to where I live, like just like a train ride away basically. So I will definitely look into that once I'm back home, because now I really want to go and see that as well. So yeah, some great reading. Let's talk about my new books just in case I haven't mentioned them. So in Venice? Yeah, in Venice I got this one. I got Pictures from Italy by Charles Dickens. So this is kind of like a travel book that Dickens wrote while traveling through France and Italy. And it's also, as you would guess from Charles Dickens, a little bit of a social commentary of the time. So I definitely want to start this one next. I am very much looking forward to that. And then I got this one in Florence. This is Great Italian Stories. So this has 10 stories from Italian writers. And it is like bilingual, so it has the original Italian text and then English translations, and I'm definitely intrigued to try that as well. So that's it for my August reading vlog. August was super successful for me for my reading, even though I'm on this trip now. I read so much throughout the first 3 weeks of August that, yeah, I reduced my TBR and I'm very happy, but I talk more about that in my wrap up soon. So I hope you enjoyed watching this. Definitely let me know, how was your August reading? I would love to hear about that in the comments. Leave a like as well, that always helps me out, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye!